Hello, welcome to our channel. Today we will be talking about how to effectively use CRS calculator to get the right points for your Canada immigration. Now, several times we have seen candidates using the CRS calculator incorrectly and not knowing what are the tips and tricks to calculate your proper CRS score. So today let's begin with the training for how to use the CRS calculator. Now, to go to the CRS site, you will first have to open Google and type CRS calculator, and you will see the first search result, which is the Comprehensive Ranking System CRS tool. You will be clicking on that link to navigate to that website. Now, this is for Canada immigration, so you can see this is for Canada, and this is the tool from which you can calculate your CRS score. Now, for the interest of time, we are going to break this video into three sections. The first, we are going to calculate the CRS points for people who are single and below 20. So now let's begin with that. If you belong to a different category, you might want to check our other videos. Thank you. So the first question that you will see here is, what is your marital status? Now, as you are single, you will select never married single. Then the next criteria is, what is your age? So this is for people who are below 30. So I'm going to select 28 years. Moving on to the next question, you can see as and when you keep selecting the options, it pops up the next question. Now you have, what is the level of education that you have? Now I'm going to go with the majority, which hold a bachelor's degree. The next question, which is a part of question 4, is, have you earned a Canadian degree, diploma, or certificate? Now, this is for the candidates who have gone to Canada or they have gotten a university degree while studying in Canada. So it clearly says you had to be enrolled full-time for at least 8 months and have been physically present in Canada for at least 8 months. If you do not fulfill the criteria, please do not select a yes for this. Else it will completely mess up your calculator and the score will not be appropriate. Now I am going to again go with the majority and select no, I have not earned a Canadian degree. Now the next question is your official languages. Have you taken any English exam which is mandatory for applying for immigration to Canada? So your answer has to be yes. Which language did you take the test? Did you give IELTS, CELPIP, or TEF Canada or TCF Canada? So majority of the people who apply for Canada immigration generally opt for IELTS. So we will be selecting IELTS. And here is where you have the test score. You have 4 sections within the test: speaking, listening, reading, and writing. And for that, you have to select the score that you have obtained in your IELTS exam. So we will select with band 7 for speaking. Let's go with listening. And let's assume that you have a score of 8. Reading, which you have a score of 7 to 7.5. And writing, which you, let's say, we'll again go with 7. Then it will also ask you if you have any other test results, which mostly is not applicable for majority of the candidates. If you have not given any other language test, which is generally French, you would select not applicable. Now, the next category of questions are belonging to your work experience. This is very important. You have to read the question very carefully and then answer the question here. The first one is, in the last 10 years, how many years of skilled work experience in Canada do you have? I always see candidates incorrectly answering this question and selecting 3 or 4 years when they have not worked in Canada. So this question will hold true only for candidates who have a work experience while they have been physically present in Canada. If you are working from a different country and you have Canadian clients, that wouldn't qualify you for answering or giving you that many years of experience. So if you do not have any Canadian work experience while physically being present there, you have to select none or less than a year. Now, the next question is where majority of the candidates would qualify. In the last 10 years, how many total years of foreign skilled experience do you have? So, if you have worked in a foreign country outside of Canada, you will select the appropriate work experience that you have been working full time. Or if you have multiple part time jobs, you would have to convert those hours to a full time and then put the full time hours. So let's say you have a part time work experience in two firms. So you will calculate the number of hours for part time, then convert it to full time hours, and then go ahead with answering that question. So let's say you have 3 years or more of full time work experience. So please select that in the drop down. Now, next question is if you have a certificate of qualification from Canadian province, territory, or federal body. Now, this question is not a future question. They are asking you if you currently have in hand a certificate of qualification from a Canadian province. So, if you do not have any, you do not assume that in future you will get that. So, you will select no for this question. Now, there is an opportunity to also acquire additional points. So let's go ahead and see what these questions are. Now they're asking, do you have a valid job offer supported by labor market impact assessment? Now they have given you the definition of what a valid job offer is and why what doesn't qualify. So please carefully go through, and most of the candidates who are applying for the first time immigration to Canada would generally not have this. So please select your answers appropriately, and for majority who do not have a valid job offer, you will select no. Now, the next question is, do you have a nomination certificate from a province or territory? This is again not a future question. If you currently have the nomination certificate in hand, only then you can select the yes option, and for majority it would be no. Now, this question for singles would not be applicable because it's talking about your spouse. So, spouse or common law partner, whether they are living in Canada and are they are living in Canada as citizens or are permanent resident holders. So if you do not have your spouse or common law partner that is living in Canada who is 18 years or above or related to you, so you would select the option as no. Now that was your last question. You can then see once you have answered all the questions successfully, you will see the button calculate your score. Now this is where you obtain your results. So you can see the clear-cut breakdown of where you are getting points and where you are losing points. So the first section is core human capital factors. You get 110 for your age. Now that would be depending on whether you are below 30. So we selected 28. Maybe if you are 27 or 26, you would get more points for that because Canada gives more point to people of younger age above 18. Now for your level of education, you have received 120. Study of Canada, you did not get any points because you did not have any education degree in Canada. And for your IELTS, which was your official language, you obtained 124 score. So a total of 354 for your core human capital factor. Now spouse factors, you have obtained 0 because you do not have a common law partner or a spouse who is traveling with you or living in Canada as a citizen or a PR holder. Now, skill transferability factors, which is your education and foreign work experience. Now, you can see the breakdown and see that you have obtained a total of 75 points. Now, if you calculate the overall score, the comprehensive ranking tool, which would be your core capital plus spouse factor plus skill transferability, you have obtained a score of 429. So, this is how you would calculate your score. And as I said, in the next videos, we will also talk about CRS calculation for people who are above 30 and how IELTS will play an important role in changing your score. So keep watching. Thank you. Have a good day.